Yes, Rip Rubin, the stream is starting soon. Ooh. You're early, yeah! How's it going today? Also, how's it going today, everybody else who may or may not be here? I haven't streamed for like 2 weeks. I was super busy last week with work. And so far this week has been a bit of a wash as far as streaming goes. Monday I had a meeting. Tuesday I had a dentist appointment. And they both were kind of right in the middle of the time that I would normally be streaming. So it kind of just ruined my day. I didn't want to like go away for 2 hours and then come back later. Although I probably could have. Oh, you just woke up? Fair enough. Hopefully it'll be a good day for you. But, yeah. Yeah, so I think Majesty 2 was technically on the docket for today. But I'm having some issues with Majesty 2. And I'll probably get into them, like the why the next time I stream the game. There's some weirdness with that game. That game does not like being... I mean, I'm starting to think that game just doesn't like being played. But I suppose we'll deal with that when we deal with that. So I decided to just do Pharaoh today. Hang out, do a little bit of Pharaoh. Maybe complete a mission or two. Hopefully we'll do more than one. But we're running out of missions to play. If you go in here... to the mission selection screen. We've gone through most of these, and we're on the very last chapter of the game. You're fiddling around with Arduino. You're going to make music using buzzers. Nice. When I was in computer class in high school, I learned C++ and Visual Basic Programming, and I was never very good at it. I never really, like, stayed on that train of learning, but I could, like, make, like, basic... I could make solitaire. I could make a solitaire program. I could make blackjack. The basic programming stuff, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, we are in the home stretch. We're nearing the end of the game. And then I think when I'm done with Pharaoh, I think we are going to go back and play Caesar 3. I think that's what my game plan is, because honestly, I haven't gotten enough of these city builders yet. Like, it's nice. It's not nice for every single stream, every single game, but it's just kind of like a chill game that I can relax and play. And just kind of hang out and enjoy my time streaming. It's not very stressful.
For many generations.
I should be done with this mission. Wait. Am I not done with this mission? Let's, I think we had this problem once before, too. I think if we just go into campaign, it should take us... Yeah, there we go. It should take us to where we need to go. All right, I know I read this off last time, but I'll read this off again. Alexander the Great himself has paced off the future site for Alexandria, the port city on the Mediterranean Sea. You must now build it. Oh. Excuse me. Under the 300 years of the Ptolemies, ending with Cleopatra VII, Alexandria will become the greatest city in the world, exceeding Rome in population and wealth. Alexander's Mausoleum, the Great Library, Pharaoh's Lighthouse, and the Caesareum are your city's projects. But what if Rome's mighty legions? Will they be used for or against Cleopatra's Egypt? I butchered that. It's been a while since I've spoken before a live studio audience. Either way, we need 4,000 population. We need 12 common residences. We need to build a mausoleum. This shouldn't be too bad, but I don't know how, like, dangerous the mission's going to be. But let's go. Let's see what we can do here, shall we?
The great Alexander, son of Philip II of
They even
Macedon
changed the
and
narrator.
scourge of the Babylonian Empire, blessed the lands of Egypt with his presence. With his coming, the final corrupt Persian satrap has hastily fled. After sacrificing to the Apis bull at Memphis, Alexander has been accepted as Pharaoh. All the people rejoice. Before setting off on his journey to the Oracle of Amun in the Siwi Oasis, however, our leader decided to found a new city, one that he wishes to someday be the capital of his vast and expanding empire. In his infinite wisdom, he has appointed you to be this future city's first mayor.
Yeah.
The great Alexander has bestowed upon you a generous endowment of funds from which to begin construction.
I'm pretty sure the, like, continuity of, like, whether we're Pharaoh or not Pharaoh, or just a lord or a governor has just gone completely out the window.
As he has vowed to return. Our leader has even taken the time to trace the positions of the two main thoroughfares of his city. The Canopic Street runs along an east-west axis. The other main avenue is perpendicular to it, and heads inland from Cape Lokius southward toward Lake Meriut. As trusted overseer of
Build
this project,
port
you should
facilities,
quickly
establish
build port
trade
facilities
routes.
and establish
Okay.
lucrative trade routes. There should be many customers for our products, especially wheat, barley, papyrus, and linen. Do not neglect the cultural
Don't
aspects of
neglect
this city,
culture
nor
or
its
military.
however,
Okay.
as there are
That's good to
still
know.
roaming vandals that wish to rob Egypt of her wealth.
Okay, so the game's giving us a pretty big hint here. Wheat, barley, papyrus, and linen are what we want to produce. Probably gonna go towards, well, we'll take a look at the map here. We'll immediately pause the game. Let's take a look what we're dealing with. This map is big. Wow. Okay. So no floodplain farming. It looks like it's all fields, which is fine. I don't mind doing field farming. In a lot of ways, I think it's better. So we have reeds over here for papyrus. Obviously, we have lots of fields for food and flax for linen. Oh no, we can't produce flax. Okay, so our primary export is going to be papyrus. Good to know. I'm glad we have established this. It is known. Don't forget to put a fireman beside the library. I think it's a little bit early for that. I could be wrong about that, but we're a little bit early. So we have reed gatherers, shipwrights, jewelers, weavers, brewers, and papyrus makers. Yeah, I think our primary focus is going to be getting the papyrus industry. Wow. Okay. You buy linen. You buy papyrus. You buy wood. Buy sandstone. Grain. Huh. So we do have a lot of papyrus traders. We have a lot of people willing to trade papyrus. Also, some of these trade routes don't have costs associated to them. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to. Yeah, no, I got you, Groover. I got you. I know what you mean. I'm pretty sure that that's an oversight, that Byblos didn't have a cost. Whoever developed this map probably just didn't see it or overlooked it, because it is kind of hard to see back there behind Tyre. Okay. So, I mean, we have plenty of room for as many people as we want. Let's see, we have 2 temples, Ra and Fatah. Good to know, good to know. I think we're just going to build, like, our first line of houses right here. Why not? I don't know if I want to go that long. We'll go like this. And like this. Something along those lines. Do I want to do it on the other side? We're gonna have some issues with desirability, but maybe it's not that big of a deal at the moment. Because we are gonna want a dock. We can plop that right there. And these are all going to be fishing wharves, probably, eventually. And people don't like living next to fishing wharves for some reason. I don't know, maybe it just smells like fish. Okay. This is going to look a bit silly, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. I totally know what I'm doing. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we have farmland here. We also have farmland down here, though. And I think this is the farmland I'm going to use. Because I'm going to just put, like, a bunch of slum housing in here. And then this is going to be our reed gatherers and papyrus. And then we're going to ship that back. And while we're here, we might as well also do farming here. I think that makes the most sense. We can plop a storage yard. We can plop a storage yard. Something like that, I think, is fine. I want to be able to get the road around here like this, so I can keep using the shoreline here. Maybe I should put the granary down here. Or I could put a second granary. Ah, yes. You'd have a second granary down here. Perfect. Makes total sense. Nothing whatsoever is wrong with this picture. Okay. Water lift? Perfect. Our water lift can fit in here. I figured that's why this river was here, this channel, but I wasn't sure. Do something like this. I have plenty of money to play around with, so I'm not really super worried about the money. But it is something I want to keep in mind. Okay. Oh. No, stop. Okay, whatever. Let's do it here. Yeah. Yes? No? Yes? I don't know. I'm probably thinking too much. No. I'm glad the undo button works. I'm really glad that that is a function in the game that totally works 100% of the time. Alright, these guys are all going to be farms. And they're going to be irrigated. Nice. And we can do the same thing on the other side, too. These can't burn, they can't collapse. This can't burn, this can't collapse. So I really don't need a lot of fire and architects posts there. And then I want this guy to get grain. So what this will do, these farms here will produce food. They will deliver the food to here. And then this granary here will go and get the food. It's a little bit faster than having the grain go the whole way across to here. It's not perfect, but I think over time it'll be fine. And then I also want to do the same thing with the papyrus. So we want this to accept papyrus, and we want this to get papyrus. papyrus. And this can just be all papyrus, I don't care. And then we'll also need our maintenance buildings over here as well. Something like that'll probably be fine. And then let's do something like this. Let's do something a little bit weird. I mean, it's not that weird, but it's a little bit different from what we've been doing. I'm going to put the bazaar and the water source, like, in line with the housing. Which generally isn't a great idea, because these buildings all lower desirability, but it should be fine. Okay, so we have food. We have water. We have religion. We'll need to double up on those temples because Ra's the patron god. And after that, food, religion, we want entertainment. Which we can just do something like this. Yeah. Alright, let's unpause. Let's start getting people in, and we'll go from there. So we're probably going to be short on people at first, but I think in the long run this will be fine. And what we could do eventually is, like, bring this around, and we can create, like, a doubled up housing here. Although, we may want to put, like, statues or something in the middle, just to improve that desirability. Otherwise, they'll never upgrade. Okay, so we have a mausoleum that we need to build. We need 240 sandstone to even start that, but we have plenty of room for it. We actually have plenty of room. This map has so much space. This map is insane. This map is insanely large. Okay. I do need a shipwright. Because, while I'm not going to focus super heavily on fishing, I think I do want at least a little bit of fishing. I say as I just completely line the shoreline with fish. I don't like fishing in this game. I don't think it really provides enough food in the long run. It definitely doesn't provide however much food the game says that it provides. But it's a good tool to subsidize the food. So, like, it's a good additive. It's easy to get. Doesn't take too much effort. Doesn't take a lot of resources. I don't think it takes a lot of people to produce. Now, it only takes 6 workers versus, like, say, the 10 workers for the grain farm. Especially when you don't have floodplains. But it's not really enough to have a stable population for. At least I don't think it is. You need a lot of fishing boats to have a stable population. So we already have some unemployment, which is kind of hilarious because I don't think we're going to have unemployment for very much longer. I think they're all going to jump into these buildings. Yeah, now we need 35 people. Exactly. It's exactly what I thought, game. But yeah, we have room to grow our papyrus industry. We probably will be doing that. And we have more than enough space for any kind of residential cluster that we could ever dream of. Do I want to build an early military? So I can't build chariots. What I could do... I need to import wood for composite bows. And last I checked, I don't think composite bows are really worth exporting. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so to sell a composite bow, I would get 275. That's pretty good, but I cannot produce wood, which means I would have to import it. And to import it, I would have to pay 225. So that's a net gain of about 50 gold. 50 Pharaoh bucks, if you will. That's not really much. Especially when I could just export papyrus and just get that 165. Or I could import flax at 54 and get about 100 Pharaoh bucks of profit from producing linen. I will probably want to start producing linen because the game suggested it. That might sound weird, but usually when the game suggests you do something, it's because the Pharaoh is going to ask for it later. And I've kind of tried to make it a point to try to get all of the Pharaoh's requests done. At least try to. I think I've mostly been successful in that. I could be wrong about that. I'm definitely not going to go back through and watch every single piece of footage that I have of this game, but I'm pretty sure I've gotten the vast majority of Pharaoh's requests done, which I'm extremely happy for. Okay, at this point, we're mostly waiting for food. That's where the boats are going to come in a little bit handy, because they're going to provide a little bit of an early injection of food until our farms get off the ground. Still need a bunch of extra workers, but that's okay. And it looks like we need even more papyrus makers, actually. Yeah, we actually have plenty of reeds. Alright, we have a plague. That's not great, but I was the one who didn't build physicians, so that's my fault. There we go. Yeah. We're already getting some houses upgrading. It'll take a little while, because the houses kind of have to upgrade in a uniform manner, or they get desirability issues. And nearby houses having a detrimental effect on the desirability of this location. Well, of course. Maybe it's because this one is full of plague and death. Who knows? But yeah, the slow trickle of food will slowly start coming in, and then we'll get a bunch of food when the grains come in. Which the grains come in January. So we should be good to go there. Now, we have plenty of money to play around with, so we might as well, you know, work towards making a pretty stable city. I'm not quite sure where I was going to go with that, but there we go. And then we also want housing on this side. How do I want to do this? I guess we're just going to kind of do something like this. It's not... Look. Look, it's not gonna be perfect. But We can do something like that. It's a little gross, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be a little bit careful. I still want to use this shoreline for ships. Do I need more water? Maybe. Do I need another bazaar? Also maybe. Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not. Here, let's build this out. And we can kind of put another water supply and bazaar here. Yeah. I think that kind of makes sense. Maybe not. So that would definitely provide a huge influx of people. I'll tell you what I can do. Let's move this, like, here. And we're going to move this Temple of Ra to, like, there. That way, we can put a bandstand here. Excellent. And we can put a conservatory down there. We have, like, 7,000 gold. We might as well spend some of it. I don't see any reason to just sit around and stare at the map when we have so much extra money. Alright, we got... It's not really as much food as I was hoping for, but... it's fine. They're only partly staffed. Oh no, they're fully staffed now. Well, they were only partly staffed for the majority of the time. Yeah, so that's the end of that line. I'm gonna just kind of leave it there for the moment. We can bring this down like this. One more. Yeah. And then eventually we're going to want to put barley down here too. It's a work in progress. We're working on it. Yeah, now these guys have the grain. This guy's carrying 400 grain. So this is why I do this way. I've mentioned it many times before, but I can mention it again because I feel like it's important to keep in mind when I do things. Not everybody comes in at the first video and then watches it through the entire way. So sometimes I have to repeat myself. When you have a cart that is delivering a resource, like this one right here, he is carrying 100 units of papyrus. That's the delivery man for the industry. When you have a delivery man from a warehouse that is set to go and get something, these guys can carry 400 units. So you don't want somebody all the way over here walking all the way this way for just 100 units of papyrus. You want these guys to do the heavy lifting. Because you need that papyrus. And you need it quickly. And especially with the industries themselves, these industries will sit at 100% production complete until the cartman gets back. So you always just want to try to make sure that your industries have the shortest distance possible. That goes for industries, that goes for farms. Floodplain farms are a little bit different because their cartmen are extremely powerful and can carry massive stacks of food at a time. But they're unique in that matter. They're built differently. But now we're starting to export some papyrus. We can start investing in trade routes for more papyrus. Yeah, you guys buy papyrus. There is one down here that buys papyrus. And then we can really start pumping out papyrus. And we can make bank. 18% unemployment, that's fine. Here, we're going to put 2 more papyrus makers down. We're probably going to need more reed gatherers at some point, because I'm going to continue to build papyrus makers. But reed gatherers are weird. It's kind of a weird industry compared to everything else. And reed gatherers collect a lot of reeds very quickly, especially when they're right next to the reeds like they are here. So usually you have like it's like a 3 to 4 ratio. So like 1 raw resource or 2 raw resources can provide enough raw materials for 4 industries. But as you can tell here, these reed gatherers are hauling so many units of reeds in that these papyrus makers just cannot keep up. They're just too powerful, too strong. Alright, our unemployment is at 19%. You know what that means? That means we can set up another industry. Or we only have 3,000 gold. I want to get a military set up. I know it sounds a little bit silly, especially right now, because we have no known threats coming in. But I don't trust the game. I don't trust the game at all after that one mission where it sent an army after me like 1 month with 1 month increments, where the game was like, oh, you're gonna get attacked in a month. That was lame. I didn't appreciate it, game. So let's import wood. This is gonna be a little bit pricey, but we're going to be exporting so much papyrus that it's not going to matter. And we're going to build a bunch of worship wharfs. Worship wharfs are expensive. Where do I want to put them? That's a good question. Here? I guess that works. I kind of hate it. But, sure. Why not? So I'm going to put a firehouse architect's post in here. And then we'll also go ahead and throw down a recruiter. I'd like to prepare an academy as well, but we're just going to leave it at this for now. Because that wood's going to be a little expensive. Ooh. I wonder how long that was like that. Oh well. We found the problem. That's the important part. Okay. So we have the bazaars long distance traveling to get the grain. You know, that's definitely a thing that they can do. I'm not against it. It takes a little bit longer to do things that way, but it's fine. And I do want to keep an eye on these reeds. I think for now we're fine. There's going to become a time where we're not going to be fine. I don't want to build a whole bunch of reed gatherers and then run out of reeds and then not notice. Or, not reed gatherers, papyrus makers. I don't want to build a bunch of papyrus makers and then run out of reeds from the reeds gatherers. But for now, we're okay. We can always put more reed gatherers down here, too. Alright, we've got a couple warships rolling in. We have a recruiter. I'm also going to build a military academy. Get those archers ready. Again, we might never get attacked, but I don't trust the game not to attack me at some point. And I also think I'm gonna build a second dock down here. I don't think that'll cause problems. I think it'll be fine. But overall, I think we're doing pretty good. We're going to have to import pottery. And that's not something that I'm ready to do just yet. I want to get all these houses upgraded. I want to make sure everybody's working. Because our next big step is upgrading to the whatever comes after the cottages. I don't remember. I don't remember. I've just been playing this game for like 4 months. The next tier of housing. We'll get a bunch of people. By then, we'll probably have a functioning brewery for beer. We need beer for the following tier, and then courthouses, magistrates, all that jazz, all that fun stuff. Overall, we're doing pretty good. We already have a quarter of the people that we need. And we may be able to fit most of the people we need in here. I bet we'll get 2,500 to 3,000 people with this little setup here. That would be what I would guess. I could be wrong about that, but maybe 2,000. Maybe we'll get halfway there. Man, these guys are nuts. They're collecting reeds like crazy. I mean, more power to them, I guess. I want to see this storage yard completely overflowing with papyrus, and this storage yard also completely overflowing with papyrus. That's what I want to see. Okay, we have enough money now. We can build the military academy. This literally does nothing but make our troops a little bit better. But I wanted to build it before I started recruiting troops. It'll help with our unemployment a little bit too. But yeah, this area over here is going to suffer from desirability. There's not really a lot that I can do with that. Can put some plazas in. But as these houses upgrade more, these guys are going to struggle with desirability. Because turns out people don't want to live next to a warship wharf. I'm not sure why. Maybe it smells a little fishy. Who knows? And of course we have the fish trickling in very slowly. What are you doing?
I have to go clear across the city with these goods.
Shouldn't you have more than 100 papyrus?
I have to go clear
That guy
across
has
the city
400
with
papyrus.
these
Was it
goods.
just like,
It'll take all
did one of these random papyrus makers just randomly decide to send their delivery man the entire distance of the city? Maybe. Oh well. They'll figure it out, I'm sure. Malaria. Malaria is going to be a problem, but it should only really be a problem over here. Oh, we ran out of money? That's okay. I gave up on that dream a long time ago. I had a dream where I would just never dig into my emergency funds, and I'm pretty sure I failed that every single time. So if we go into risks, malaria... Yeah, the only place that should really have risk of malaria is down here. At the moment. Now, if we expand our houses down this way, or up towards these reeds up here, we may have to be a little bit more concerned about malaria. But for now, it shouldn't be a problem. try to make these houses a little bit more desirable. There we go. Nice. All right, let's build a couple of archer forts, shall we? Where do we want to put these? I mean, it doesn't really matter where we put them. I just want to put them somewhere kind of out of the way. I mean, I could put them... Wait, there's floodplains down here? What? When did that happen? Whatever, game. Whatever. So we do have floodplains down here. It's a very small amount. But they are nice and... It's nice and straight down here, so we could just put, like, a bunch of farms down here. So the reason why floodplains are decent, despite me poo-pooing on them for the entirety of this playthrough, is that they are very not labor-intensive. They're the opposite of labor-intensive. You only need a work camp. Work camps require 20 people to operate, which is not many. And theoretically, if set up properly, a single work camp can make many farms work. And then you get so much food. The problem with floodplains is that their flooding is very inconsistent. Okay, so we apparently have many perfect floods here. But on other maps, they are very inconsistent. You can have bad floods, you can have good floods, you can have anything in between, really. And it's just really a massive pain in the butt. But we can set this up. I don't really want people to go down here, though. I mean, we may eventually want people to go down there, but not right now. We'll build a work camp here. And then we may just use this for barley. I mean, we have 20% unemployment. We don't really have an unemployment issue. Do you really need more food? A new trait to On has been opened up. Let's take a look at that, shall we? Where is On? I think On is like in here. Yeah, it's right here. Fish and beer. Okay. That's a land trade route. That could be very useful. Is that the only land trade route? No, you buy grain. You buy sandstone. You're a land trade route, but you sell pottery. We will need that eventually. You buy linen. Where are we supposed to buy... You buy papyrus. Where are we supposed to buy the sandstone from? I know we need sandstone to complete the mission. Do we already have one open? Apparently we do. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so we need to do something about our unemployment. And I think the best way to do something about our unemployment is to start producing beer. How do we want to do this? If I set this up like this... How much beer is enough? Never enough beer. I need to do that, and then I can also irrigate this. Funnily enough, before I started playing this playthrough, I didn't actually know that you could irrigate floodplain farms. I thought you were kind of just committed to not doing that. So that's pretty neat. So we are going to have to sacrifice, like, this chunk of land, I think, to make this work. Because what we're going to do is something like that. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried for the people who are all the way out here, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And they may just long distance travel, because I want my breweries to be up here, close by. So let's take a road off of here. I could put it over here. Yeah, I mean, I could do that. So let's keep our barley here. Keep our beer here. We will want another storage yard with beer over here somewhere, because we're going to export a lot of it too. And then we could also go nuts on beer. Like, we could do that just to begin with. And honestly, we have so many barley farms down here in the floodplain, and so much room for more barley farms, that may not even be enough breweries. But we'll see. We'll let it run for a year, and we'll see what happens. I don't want to get completely out of hand. Not yet. So how does our income look? Our exports are actually incredible. We're exporting 6,100 Pharaoh bucks a year. And without construction, we're only spending about 3,000 Pharaoh bucks a year. So we're making about 3,000 Pharaoh bucks a year. Obviously, like, with construction, we're still kind of okay. But, yeah, we're doing good. We're doing a good job. Our houses have all reached the ordinary cottage stage. 15% unemployment is not great. But it shouldn't be too difficult to fix that. If we build a village palace, you can just plop that wherever. Maybe throw down a couple tax collectors. Important note, these houses aren't really worth collecting taxes on, but it's fine. There we go. A slow trickle of money is better than no money whatsoever. Then, if we can get our beer industry off the ground and produce beer, so much beer to export, we'll have so much papyrus to export, we'll have so much beer to export, maybe, just for the kicks and giggles, we can import a little bit more wood and produce some composite bows for our army. Maybe. I haven't quite decided on that just yet. Because it's a new feature. Composite bows and shields. Where are they? Okay, I can't produce composite bows. Or I can't produce shields. Like, composite bows and producing shields for your infantry to make them better is actually one of the few new mechanics in this game. And I feel like we haven't really had the opportunity to use those new features. Because, like, the combat system in this game is so weird. Just so weird. It's so weird and buggy, and you can usually get by just throwing a bunch of stuff at people and it'll be fine. I don't know. It is what it is, I suppose. But I think we're doing really well. This is a really nice city so far. It's productive. It's making money. We have plenty of food coming in. We may need to build a couple more work camps, because they kind of have a long distance to trek here. A Phoenician army will reach our city in 8 months. That's not great. Hopefully they arrive by boat. We'll build a couple more boats. What we could do... You could be really dumb. You could build walls. You could wall in our little city here. Because that has never gone poorly for me in the past. Let's see. Do that. We'll run the walls down like this. I kind of hate the new wall building mechanic. I'm just gonna say it's not great. So that. Oh, that should protect our city. Yes. Yes. I know there's an enemy army attacking me. It's okay. Yeah. So, allegedly, according to the game, what the game has told me quite clearly, things inside of the wall should be protected by the wall. Supposedly. Now, we have had mixed experiences with that in the past, but I'm gonna trust the game on this. I guess. I hope you can hear all of the trust in my voice. So much trust. Okay, we can get rid of this roadblock because the gatehouse counts as a roadblock. And then we can also put a couple towers here. These towers are mostly aesthetic choices. Technically, if I understand the way the new combat system works, towers do add to your, like, overall defensive bonus or whatever. They just don't do anything. There's no animation for them in combat. And we're also going to build another fort. I'd like to build another fort here. Like that. Forts themselves also have a defense aura. So, like, having this fort here, once you get some troops into it, will defend this area a little bit from damages. What? Excuse me? Give me a month. Give me a month. I wasn't really expecting such a generous offer of sandstone. I mean, we do need sandstone. Oops. And we'll also put an architect's post and a firehouse down here. I mean, if the game's just going to give me the sandstone that I need, I will be 100% okay with that. Yes, I have extra storage yard space for sandstone. That's because we need 200 plus of it. That's not actually going to be enough warehouses for all the sandstone we need. That's just going to be a start. Okay. So these people, these do not have the people they need just yet. Oh, they do. They do have the workforce they need. This one doesn't, but it will eventually, probably. But yeah, so that's what all of this is. So you can upgrade your towers with plainstone and composite bows to increase their defensive value. And then basically what the game does is it stacks your defensive value versus the enemy's offensive value, and whoever has the biggest number is the winner. It is a really kind of a dumb kind of system. Anyway, the new trade route to Bahria Oasis has opened up. Do you sell sandstone? No. You do buy jewelry, though, which is probably not something that I'm going to take advantage of.
I have to go clear across the city.
Yeah, so
with
not
these
really a
goods.
lot of barley.
It'll take all day. I have to go clear across the
But they
city
all
with
did get
these
off the
goods.
floodplain, and that's what I was
It'll take
most
all
worried about.
day.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Strawman. It was nice knowing you. Now, the reason why I do not mind these farmers walking half the length of the city is because they do just have, like, all of the barley.
City with these goods.
They only have to make one trip, so they should be fine. Again, that's different from the industries, which only carry one resource at a time, or one unit of a resource at a time. So the ideal goal for your farming industry, like barley, flax, henna in the expansion content, is you want to produce enough of your raw resource to last you a year, basically. Ideally, exactly a year, although that would be a bit complicated to pull off. Nice. So we sunk their boats. And they only had a handful of survivors. Excellent. So I would imagine if I didn't have ships, they probably would have landed more troops. That has been the trend that the game has been pushing onto me so far. We'll see how it goes in the future. But yeah, I'm very happy with the city. It's really nice. I like it. It's a good little town. I may need to expand my fishing production. Not because I want to rely on fish, but again, because I suspect the game will eventually start asking me to produce fish for cities. Like, the Pharaoh's going to be like, I need 2,000 units of fish. Or, the game's going to ask for grain instead. Which I can stockpile grain. It's not a big deal. But yeah, ideally you want exactly enough raw materials to last your breweries until the next harvest. Okay, so you're the one with wood and... Oh, Royal Mayor Lee, because you have sent 0 barley to mend the fair, as they requested, you have become more popular among your fellow Egyptians, and your kingdom rating has risen. I'm gonna need a drink for this. I'll be right back. What do you mean? I sent 0 barley to mend the fair game. What? I mean, I'll take it. It's free. It's a free kingdom rating. That makes me happy. But what? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna build a storage yard for beer now. There we go. The trade route to Byblos has shut down, okay. So, one thing that I've kind of gotten the vibes for with the expansion content for this game, a lot of it is pulled probably straight from the source. Maybe not. Maybe they did it by hand. But I can't help but feel like when they were playtesting the game, trying to figure out any kind of problems or issues with the game or whatever, I can't help but feel like they neglected the expansion content. Like, they just played through the base game, maybe. Maybe they didn't even get that far. And then they're like, oh, this is fine. It all works. I could be wrong about that. And don't get me wrong, making games is hard. It is. It's very difficult. I wouldn't be able to do it. A warning. But I feel like there's just a lot of, like, things that have been overlooked in the expansion. It's not the first time I've noticed free trade routes or issues with getting into a battle with 0 enemies. We had that happen once, too. And things of that nature. Things that just very clearly are not working the way they were supposed to. And it's unfortunate. It really is. I think overall the game is okay. I think it's fine. But oh, good. The price of grain has risen. I'll be right back. There we go. Sorry, I was fighting with something. But yeah, it just seems like I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of issues with the expansion content. All right, so our unemployment is still super high. We should start importing sandstone. Let's see, how much space do we need? We need 240. So if we grab our handy dandy calculator here and we divide 240 by 32, we get 7.5. Also, the Egyptian army is engaged in a battle. Okay, send troops to their aid. Tell me I can do that by land. Okay, it is a land. I am going to wait on that because I don't trust the game. I don't trust the game not to pull shenanigans of like, oh, I send some help and then 1 month later I get attacked. We've definitely seen that before. And that's not an expansion content thing, that's a Pharaoh thing. That is the game trying to pull shenanigans on you when you're not paying attention. So we're going to start importing the sandstone that we need. We still have so much unemployment. I mean, we could expand our papyrus industry even farther. How do you guys look? They're still chugging out papyrus like it was their job. All right, well, if they're doing the work, I don't mind providing the jobs. Let's go. Let's do that a little bit smarter, shall we? There we go. And we'll also put a reed gatherer there at the end. This is actually a really good spot for a reed gatherer. I like it. I like it a lot. But man, these reed gatherers, they're so efficient. They're so good. They're so good. Alright, let's go ahead. I think I am gonna be a little bit of a weirdo and produce composite wheels. Because why not? Why not? So let's increase... We have so much papyrus. Let's increase our wood imports to 400. And that'll be good for now. And then I guess we could take a risk and send... Should we send the house? You know, we have enough money to build a 4th archery fort. Let's send the house. Yeah. And we'll just build another fort. We'll put it, like, there. If we reproduce more soldiers, we'll do infantry, but that should be good enough for now. Warning. Again. Thieves. Where do we have... I just realized something. We don't have a single constable in this entire friggin' city. Well, that was stupid of me. Alright, let's fix this problem, shall we? Let's take a look at that crime map, shall we? Where is it? Risks of crime. Yeah, I wonder where the problem is. I wonder where the problem with the crime is. Literally everywhere. Okay, well that should solve that problem. It's funny because I don't usually think about constables, but they're very useful to have when you have crime. Who would have thought?
Across the city with these goods.
Okay, we are producing way more food than we're using. That's not a bad thing. I'll take it. And then I think we're going to start importing pottery. Let's go. Let's import pottery. Import 400 pottery. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take a little while to trickle that down through the city, but that's fine. We'll already preempt a couple more houses, and we'll be good to go. Actually, we need a pavilion, too. Well, that's annoying. I think I was going to put my pavilion here, but it's kind of been superseded by breweries. Take out the breweries. Put in a pavilion. Then we'll place a dance school. Dance schools are so big. We'll put it there, I guess. That's fine. I just want to make sure... Ugh. I'd like to put the mausoleum inside the walls, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I may have to put it, like, outside. The closest I could get would be right there. Which we may be able to make that work. We just have to move a couple things. We'll see. We'll see what happens. A pretty city is very important. It's got to be photogenic. And we can fill this area with gardens. Hey! The Egyptian army was victorious in battle. Nice. Hopefully that'll give us things. I like things. Alright, all these houses should upgrade very quickly. Culture is and always is going to be a problem. People just... culture is hard. Culture is hard in this game. And kingdom raiding is also difficult, but we can kind of deal with that a little bit by just kind of begging Ra for help. That seems to have gone very well in the past, so I have no reason not to continue along that route. Just, Ra, please help me. And he will make it so. Desirability? No, these guys just don't have pottery. Okay. Sure, why not? Alright, how much more room do we have? We have about room for 500. I did say about 2,500 to 3,000 people with this little strip of land, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I said that. I'm pretty pleased that I kind of guesstimated that. 12 common residences. Is that the next tier up? I think residence is the tier above apartments. I could be wrong about that. We're going to need a bunch of dentists for culture anyway, so might as well throw a bunch down. As well as physicians. There we go. Now, I absolutely hate relying on imports for pottery. It's my least favorite thing to do. But the game's given me no choice. Which reminds me, I am going to up the import amount to 800. Because we need that pottery, man. We need that pottery. And now, our taxes should start getting a little bit better. Let's see. Tax overlay, 285. 330. It's not bad. It's not bad. I can't remember the specific point where taxing the houses become profitable. There's a point where, like... Oh, thank you. The amount of wages you pay people is lower than the taxes. I think it's increases by 20%. So, like, if we go into our society here... So, like, the first few levels, I believe if they pay any taxes, it's 20%. Let's just assume that it's 0%. And then the next few levels is 20... No, that doesn't sound right. Maybe it's 20, 40, 60... I don't remember. I don't remember the math. Basically, like, you want your taxes to offset your wages. And I guess the easiest way to look at that is to look at your taxes that have come in. So I've been taxing ordinary cottages, right? That's what these were before I got the pottery to upgrade them. So let's take a look here. Last year, when they were ordinary cottages, they paid, or I paid them, $2,800 in wages. $2,800 of Pharaoh bucks, whatever you want to call them. But I only got 2,300 Pharaoh bucks in taxes. Now, it's important to keep in mind that that's still largely offsetting the amount of money you're paying into the wages. So it's still kind of worth it, but you don't really start making a profit until they get a little bit more. So now the game is saying that we're going to get about 4,100 Pharaoh bucks of taxes this year, assuming that everybody pays. That should... that's double the wages, so that's very good. So that's kind of how the taxes work in this game. You don't want to tax your people when they're poor, because you just won't make any money. Alright, let's move this. Let's start planning for this mausoleum, shall we? Because we're very close. I want to put it here. I'm just not quite there yet. This is going to be a little bit claustrophobic. I don't care. It needs to look cool. It needs to look good. So I was hoping I could put it down here. There's just not quite enough space. It's fine. 159. I'm a little bit over halfway there. But yeah, we're doing quite well. So we need a scribal school or a library. We can afford either of those, or both. Ultimately, we probably want both. Because libraries will improve our culture. And we have so much papyrus that we can afford it. That is going to take up our shore space. I think we're good. I think we're good with the shoreline for now. If we need to, we could put a little bit more fishing in there. We could put some fishing in here. We should probably have a fish-only dock because of this right here. We're kind of getting overwhelmed with grain. So why don't we do that? That sounds like a good idea. We're just going to put a dock here. They're just going to accept fish. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Okay, there's our residences. Perfect. And this is exactly why I want to get space specifically for fish, because we do need a second food type to upgrade these houses even more. Okay. I think at this point we can start looking into setting up our linen industry, because we are going to need linen. I've been kind of lucky, I think, that we haven't had a big linen demand from Pharaoh. So we're just going to start importing flax and making linen. We'll import 800 flax, and that should be enough for 4 weavers. Yeah. There we go. And at the end, as always, we'll put a firehouse art exposed. Perfect. We're also going to need that for mortuaries. Eventually. And our houses need linen, too. Which is something I forget about quite frequently. I think something I do kind of want to do... I could just fill this up with fishing wharves. Kind of. I just put a bunch of random fishing wharves in here. This is mostly for food. For the second source of food that I need for my upgraded housing. Again, I don't really expect to be able to sustain an entire population on fish. It just does not happen in this game. I don't think it happens in Caesar 3 either, and I've been playing a little bit of that recently. I think that's going to come to the stream after I'm done with Pharaoh. I think. We'll see. Time will tell. But yeah, we're doing very good with barley. We're probably actually producing way too much barley. I could probably get even more breweries squeezed in somewhere. In fact, I could probably put a bunch of breweries over here. At least a couple. Although I don't know why this guy... What's your problem, buddy? Why... Why do you not have... Wow, why you know beer? Huh. That's interesting. Is it because it's being blocked by the pavilion? No, but if it was, then this one wouldn't be getting beer either. Oh no, there it goes. Okay. It must have just been dumb. Why? Why no food, though? What's going on here? Why are we running out of food? Is everybody running out of food? Do you have food? Oh, I know why I'm running out of food. It's because I'm dumb. There we go. I was stockpiling it like a dingus. Alright, well, that should solve all of our problems then. I completely forgot that I was stockpiling food. Specifically grain for a delivery. Okay, so that crisis is solved. That's good. These guys should start bringing in a lot of fish. You know, I could do something like this. I don't know if that's cheaper or more sensible than just putting a gatehouse here, but I think it would look really bad if I had just two gatehouses right next to each other, so that should be good enough. Alright, so where are we with sandstone? We're very close. Very close to the sandstone. How about everything else? 35 culture. That's pretty good. We do need to continue begging Ra for help. Did Ra give us any help? No. But he's also very mad at us. I mean, we can fix that by building him a fancy temple. I don't think we needed those, but there's no real reason not to get it. I have plenty, well, I had plenty of money. 1,100 reeds? Oh, I got you, buddy. You're gonna have more reeds and you're going to know what to do with them. Yeah, alright. Excellent. Funny enough, I may not actually have enough reeds. Huh. We may need to build a 4th reed gatherer. We can do that. That's fine. Yeah, so we should be getting food in pretty quickly. We should be good to go on that front. Ra should stop hating us so much. And we can even plop a Senate house down somewhere to really pump that culture. But we kind of gotta recover a little bit here. 1,200 pottery? Is that how much I asked for? No. Why is the game giving me more pottery than I asked for? Should be exporting lots of beer. Papyrus, yeah. Okay. Alright. There we go. Starting to sell it a little bit. Must have just hit a little bit of a dry spell there for a minute. I mean, that plus all of our houses downgrading because I was stockpiling friggin' grain. It definitely didn't help. But that's fine. Okay. You know, I didn't even look at this yet. You know, overall, these burial provisions are pretty modest. It shouldn't take us that long to get that stuff. Okay. Keep begging Ra for help. And there we go. I don't have the room for that. But I can get the room for that. Let's see. I guess we could just kind of put it here. For now. We definitely got to stop our bazaars from trading in it, because they'll just go and steal it. There we go. I mean, yeah, it's immediately going to go into this. But yeah. Now if they want to hoover up the rest of the jewelry, they can. I'm not too concerned about it. There we go. Excellent. Yeah, so now with our composite bows, we can actually equip our archers with the composite bows, which will make them better. Yeah. I don't really think it's that important to do. I haven't really needed to do it, but like I said before I did it, it seems kind of silly to not play around with it a little bit, just a little bit, since we have the option. You know, you might as well. All right, we have plenty of beer. We have plenty of papyrus. We're starting to get that linen in. We're not really selling the linen. I'm not sure if I really want to sell much linen. I may only sell it if it gets over like 1,200 linen. Because we're not really like producing a lot of linen. I'll need it for housing. I don't think I need it for burial provisions. I know I just checked it, but yeah, I don't need it for burial provisions. So I just need it for mortuaries, basically. Which we can build a couple of those. There we go. Still have a bit of an employee shortage, but it should get better. Once these houses upgrade, we'll do pretty good. And we can also plop a Senate house. I guess we can put it there. That's fine. So put another architect's post and firehouse down. I probably overbuild these two buildings. I would rather overbuild them than underbuild them. You know how it is. They don't take that many people. They only need like 6 workers a piece. Yeah, 5 to 6 workers. So it's no harm in building a lot of extra ones. And we can also upgrade these towers with bows. I don't even produce pomegranates. Game, please. Well, I mean, I guess I have to import pomegranates. Should be pretty doable. They're pretty cheap, so I don't mind doing it. It's just finding people who sell pomegranates. I was going to be so mad if I went up down to Bakriel Oasis and they and they sold pomegranates. I would be very confused. Okay. Yeah, let's game. Why? Why can I not import pomegranates? Excuse me. One moment. We've had to do this a few times before, but it's been a while. We'll just immediately reload. See if that should solve the problem. We're just here to have fun and build pyramids. I agree. It's kind of a shame that the pyramid building has kind of dried up a little bit. Oh, pushing the stockpile button just grays out that. Okay, that's kind of dumb, but whatever. Whatever. I guess it makes sense. It's fine. Okay, we'll import 1,200 pomegranates. And we may just continue importing 1,200 pomegranates. Maybe... You know, it's been a little while since we've had to build a couple fancy houses. Do you want to try to build some fancy houses? I don't know. it's not exactly super difficult in Pharaoh, especially in New Era, to get fancy houses, and I'm sure I'll have missions later to build fancy houses. But building fancy houses will definitely get our population up. It will definitely get our prosperity up. Probably won't do much about our worker shortage, but we can solve that in other ways. Yeah, what if we just like came over here? Put some fancy houses here. Okay, I think I have enough sandstone now. We can start building this mausoleum. So it's not fancy housing, but we could put some more housing in here. Like this. Because we do need, like, a little bit more population. Not really a lot. And we could have put a bazaar. A water supply. And, you know, our usual architects and firehouse in there. That should upgrade pretty well, I think. May struggle a little bit with religion. And now it won't. Actually, now that I think about it, we only have 2 gods. We may not be able to build fancy houses. I mean, they'll be kind of fancy, but they won't be, like, super fancy. Let's see what population this gets us to, and then we'll go from there. Because it's also important to keep in mind that, like, the more population you have, the more culture requirements you get, and it's hard enough to get culture as it is. Alright, but we do need stonemasons, probably 2 stonemasons, and probably 2 carpenters, which I'm just gonna kind of plop somewhere. Yeah. Okay. And now we just leave it go for a little while. How does our ratings look? We have everything we need. So let's go ahead and start importing the provisions, and then we'll be good to go. We can turn this into a provisions storage yard. Let's see, we need ivory, weapons, and gems. Only the ivory is relevant for our bazaars, and I think I have them all turned off. So we'll go ahead and we'll import that. We have plenty of income, so that's not going to be a problem. We'll do 1,000 gems. I think it was 6 weapons. We'll do 8, because I think the recruiter will gobble some up. And then 400 ivory. Yeah. There we go. How many composite bows do we have? We have 15 composite bows. Okay. So I'm hoping that this will get us to the 4,000 people that we need. It probably won't, but I hope it does. Magistrates? Yeah, you shouldn't have a problem getting a magistrate. Shouldn't being the important word there. Okay. We'll just let them do their thing for now. And we can stop stockpiling pomegranates. But we will import up to 3,200. We'll just fill up this storage. We're making so much money. We're making so much money. Just because we're producing so much papyrus and beer and selling it. And like I said, if I wanted to, I could do the same thing with linen. But that's a little bit more limited because I can't produce the raw material itself. You know, I'm super tired. I'm super duper tired of constantly getting the disease strikes message down here. So let's go ahead and we'll put a physician and apothecary down. It's a little bit extra. I don't need to. I don't think I've done that for the entirety of the game. But it will stop the constant disease pop-ups. Because I think this is my only slum house. Actually, no, I have one up here, too. Okay, well, this guy also gets his own personal physician. There we go. Excellent. Now, something that is kind of awkward is that our work camps are all the way down here. I guess I could put a work camp up here. Like that. I guess that would make sense. Okay. So we can stop importing this stuff. Stop importing the weapons. Stop importing the ivory. 6 weapons. Perfect. Excellent. Nice. So now, other than the population requirement, we just need to get the monument done and not be destroyed by an angry Phoenician army. Let's build a couple more warships. It's a little bit late now for this attack. But hopefully, if we get attacked again, it'll help. I really like these houses to upgrade. Once again, 3 boats. We should be fine. But that's also why I want to upgrade to preferably 5 boats. That way I don't have to worry about close victories. Okay. Let's see what we can do about getting some nice houses in here, shall we? We might as well. I don't think we have to. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good with the fancy houses. 383, 6. Well, I don't know. It's gonna be very close. We only really need a few of these houses to upgrade. Preferably this one. I'd love this house to upgrade. These houses will upgrade. It'll just be a matter of time. I don't think that this is truthful. These have upgraded so much. We're downgraded. Well, I guess we're downgrading. Wasset is under attack. I suppose we could send the boys to fight at Wasset. We'll send the composite arrow boys. Let's use one, shall we? Let's use cool. You can put this here. Start with this. Here's the. Sorry, the order of effectiveness. It's extremely close to possible. You can try to do here. If I don't want to do it for holding out. It's matching it right here. Still starts with the. Sorry, really short people. Will not be here. Never. Oh, do that. Or here. Bring some of the ones up. I think it's actually then. Right. We could create these like causes. Let's see. Something that, you know, if the virus echoes, they gotta be that, market. Watch live. That's in. Access duties. And entertainment. Give them, instant. There we go. That'll give them a pretty good amount of growth. That was really just for house need. Of course, it's agriculture. I love it. Alright. That's part of the culture, I guess. But anything that's in, else we can about mining? Madness? Others? Just hold madness here. Madness records here. Yeah. I think you know there's one. It's hard to tell. But we learned that if you don't have enough tools and all these things are active, it will be able to do it. And I'll do it. Resign. Start anything? Yeah, good to go. Alright, that's quarter of this part. Alright, so it's just excellent. This is very good. Very good. And you're about to see some. Please down. Where are we? We're using starter. And we should have 2 cards, right? Over here. And it goes kind of the end. Oh, here. I don't like that. Big lost. What's up? And I think we'll see it off. Yeah. Not exciting here, I don't know why. But I'll just yourself. Yeah. You're one, like, fast act, like, online. Like, the other is for smaller era than she is in the years. So, like, that's not crazy big, yeah. History is long. Very long. I sort of. We're just here. I think we need one more guy. 1 or 2 more guys. Does everything else look good? Everything else is still green across the board. Excellent. So we're just waiting for the last couple of little statues to go in the mausoleum, and we'll be good to go. Then we'll be on to the next mission. Unless our houses downgrade and 200 people move out. Don't do that, game. Uh-oh. They might be doing that. What are you missing? No access to a physician or a mortuary? What? No.
You have done well. Your wise leadership and careful planning have positioned Alexandria to be the hub of Mediterranean commerce. It is most unfortunate that Alexander the Great never saw his empire's capital. At least we have the satisfaction to know that he is now safely entombed within it.
Long live Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great is dead. Cool. It's a cool little town. It's a cool little town. I like how... I don't know. I was going to say I like how much room they gave me, but I feel like I could have gotten like much higher requirements in the city. Like I feel like this map was made for a much larger city than what we have. Oh well, it's fine. That looks really good. I like it. What's next? Alexandria? Ptolemy's Alexandria. Oh. Is this another Valley of the King situation where we're gonna be doing the same mission like 5 different times? Maybe. Elegant Manor is 7,000 people. Let's take a look here. Yep, it sure is.